Hey, how's everybody today? Nyantolia here. Pleased to see you all. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to make a specialty dish of mine that a lot of friends of mine appreciate and enjoy, and I want to share it with you today. It's bruschetta. And please note the pronunciation bruschetta, not bruschetta, like my friends and family back home tend to pronounce it in Canada and America. I was taught this recipe by a very sweet Italian lady in my hometown in Canada, and I hope you appreciate it. It's a very classical dish, done along traditional lines, but there's many variations of bruschetta today. I was almost going to say bruschetta. And there's many possibilities of toppings, many different ingredients that you can add. Bruschetta is very common in Italian restaurants in the culinary world, with all kinds of things that you can add on top of it, different types of herbs, different types of spices, toppings for meat and cheese, prosciutto, ham, salami, all kinds of things. So, but the basis is the same. You still have the wonderful, well-crusted bread with the spongy inside. Right? I found this really great bread here in Romania, cooked in stone hearths, done in a very traditional manner. And the secret is having a crust on the outside that's not very hard, but it's still chewy, and the inside is very spongy. So this is the type of bread that you want to have. You can also use ciabatta bread, which is an Italian style of bread. But folks, you can't do this with sliced Wonder Bread or something like that. So the ingredients that I have today are very simple and very easy to procure. We have some fresh garlic, huge fresh cloves of garlic. We have some olive oil, virgin olive oil, some fresh ground black pepper, a few dashes of salt, table salt will do, and I have these wonderful vine-ripened tomatoes that were just picked yesterday by myself. They're very nice. They're also known as Romano tomatoes, unique, indigenous to Italy a while ago, and now they're very popular in pizza sauce and spaghetti sauce. And I have, as a personal favorite, I have some oregano, fresh oregano leaves or herb that I've cut up in smaller pieces. And another optional topping that you can use is mozzarella cheese. Mozzarella cheese is what's most commonly used. Now this isn't just any mozzarella cheese, this is full-fat buffalo-derived mozzarella cheese. It has a higher fat content. It's a creamier cheese with a richer texture. It's a very soft, malleable cheese. It's a little hard to grate and work with, but it tastes just great. So, as history tells us, bruschetta originated in Italy in the 14th and 15th century when the olive growers were sitting with open fires and hanging out and having a good time. They had lots of nice bread and they had olive oil. And on its own, these two were quite satisfactory. Somewhere along the way, people started rubbing garlic cloves onto bread, which is a very old practice. It's in the Middle East and in Israel and many other parts of the world. It's a very common practice to rub cloves of garlic on the bread and eat them. But as we know today, somewhere along the line there were tomatoes and the various other ingredients that you see here. So we'll begin, and I'll show you one of the secrets to making great bruschetta bread is the way the bread is prepared. The bread is not toasted, as we commonly think, how it's done in most restaurants. It's actually grilled over an open flame. So I took the liberty of grilling these pieces of bread beforehand, and they are, you can see that the outer edge is a little charred, and that adds to the flavor of the bread. So you begin by taking the clove of garlic and rubbing it into the piece of bread. It's very simple, you don't have to get all of it in there, but just enough. It's still quite impregnated. You can see it glistening with the juice from the garlic clove. And then what I do is I take a little bit of the olive oil, not a lot, and I drizzle it on top, spread it on top. It's easy to put a lot. I'll put a little bit of my oregano on top next. And then we take some cubed tomatoes I'll add a dash of salt, some fresh ground pepper, I just lost some of that tomato there. Okay, and then I'll add some cheese as well. You've got something like this. And I'll add some cheese on top. Now what I want to do with this is I can eat this if I want, but I would prefer to grill it just a little bit longer, so just to melt the cheese. So that's what I'll do now. Just to melt the cheese. Everything else is quite satisfactory the way it is. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is bruschetta. This is how it should look. And, well, I don't know, what do you think? Should I eat it? Fabulous. I want to thank you all very much for joining me today, and please join me for the next feature presentation.